you. Yeah, feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down at the rafters. I had to son these boys, can't leave them bastards. A lot of dudes, just some undercover actress. I don't fall for it, I'm privy to all your tactics. Yeah, so try again, this time take a vitamin. Yeah, invite them in, welcome to the Lions Den. And I'm Mufasa, big boss in charge of, coming in like a bull. You see me raising the stock up, yeah. So baby, you gon' need some patience. I already won, now I'm just making a statement, Damn, baby, why your mans keep hating? You asking about the cake, you here for the celebrations. And I ain't fishing, I ain't really into baiting. I know they all wish I take away they maiden, but sorry I'm taking me and my lady mating.
Another powerful edition of Just Saying Podcast brought to you by Gateway 882 Media Company. We're your hosts, Furman M. Jackson Jr. and Larissa Franklin, co-CEOs and founders of Gateway 882 Media Company. Tonight's guest is an aspiring recording artist whose music is touching hearts and changing lives across the world. Our guest has earned over 500, achieved a top 10 placement on the Christian radio chart, and saw her hit single Plans reach #1 in February 2025. But her impact goes far beyond charts and numbers. Her sound is more than music, it's a safe space for people navigating through dark moments while searching for hope, healing, and light. Through authenticity, faith, powerful storytelling, she continues to inspire listeners everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, help us welcome the incredible Freedom Heart to the Just Saying Podcast.
All right.
So we welcome you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank
Well, we
you
appreciate
for coming on the show.
Well, we appreciate you. We thank you. And Larissa, we do thank you for taking time your schedule to come on here. You, of course, you're an artist. You have a very impressive resume, of course. 500,000 plus YouTube viewers, chart topping music. So you are our guest. So go ahead and introduce yourself. I already did it in Dutch, but so go ahead and introduce yourself, and we can have a good time on the show.
Because there's nothing like introducing yourself versus someone else introducing you.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny, right? I don't know how you guys feel, but if somebody were to like list off your accomplishments every time, it's like every time they see you, it's like, hey, this person, and then list it off. It's like so funny. But yeah, hey everybody, I'm Freedom Heart, and that is my artist name. My actual name is Lynn Chen, and I am a worship leader. I am a songwriter. I am an artist, recording, and yeah, there's a lot to do. But I see everything as ministry, and everything that I do, I want to impact and touch people's lives. So yeah.
Okay, well, good.
That's
What started you?
That was
what drove you to do this?
Well, it was definitely God, because if you knew me from a long time ago when I was younger, I was deathly afraid of being on stage. When I was younger, my mom, she kind of like made me enroll in piano class, and I would go on stage, and then we would have recitals, and I would play really fast and go like, da, 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 like times 10 speed, right? Normally it'd be like, do, 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 right? And then I'd be like, go on stage, and I'd be like, da, 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 da. And then I would get off stage because I was so frightened. I was so afraid of just being on stage and just like the limelight. It's not something that is easy. I think it doesn't come natural, I think, to most people. And so for me, I was definitely afraid of being on stage. And so to answer your question, Larissa, am I saying it right, Larissa or Larissa?
It's Larissa.
Larissa, okay. Yeah, to answer your question, I basically like had a calling from God, and that's what how it started. Because when I was younger, like in high school. The first time I ever heard God's voice, like audible voice. I heard him. We were at a concert. We were at this huge stadium. And I just thought, wow, this is so cool. And I just looked around and I thought, wow, this is so amazing. Like everybody's here to come and like, worship God potentially. And then I was just looking on the stage and I thought, wow, it must be amazing. And I heard God's voice say for the very first time, he said, like to me, he spoke and he said, that's what you're going to do for me. You are going to do music for me. And I said, what? Because at the time I didn't, I didn't know God's voice that well. I thought maybe it was my own, but then, no, it's like, that was not something I thought about. And I'm not going to say that's what you're going to do for me to myself. Right. And I was like, what? And then at the time I couldn't sing. I didn't sing. I didn't play instruments really. And so, I mean, I had a little bit of piano, but it just wasn't like on a scale of like performing at all. So it was because of God's calling. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I love the name Freedom Heart. Like I love it. I love it. I'm telling you. It really just like stands out, that name. So, I think that kind of get the listeners, at least it definitely got me um interested into knowing who you are, what you're about. So, I think that's important just as well, to know, to get people to know who you are, just simply by name. And
Mm.
it's amazing your journey and how you have, and we'll get into your journey,
Yeah.
but how you have, you made the decision to do what you are doing. So, all flowers are due just. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you. I love that name as well. I would have to tell you, it took a few iterations, but this was definitely a name that God gave me as well.
okay,
Man, awesome stuff.
okay.
I like that as well. Awesome. And that name is very powerful. Freedom. And even the scripture tells us whom the son set free is free indeed, right?
Yes.
How important is it, freedom to us, for all of us, to walk in total freedom in life, in
Yeah.
your opinion?
Well, there's a thought that I kind of think about because whether you are a believer or not a believer, so many times, even in the church, you hear, oh, I'm struggling with depression, I'm struggling with anxiety, I'm struggling with all these things. And it's not that we shouldn't struggle because we're bound to struggle sometimes. But if God says that I've come and that you can have freedom and life to the full, and you know, where is that in our lives? Where is that apparent at all? And so I'm just kind of seeking out this myself in my own walk. And I'm just like, okay, well, if God says do not worry, like should we just not worry at all? Like do we even need to worry about our jobs, our bills, our things that we have to think about all the time? Like do we just like completely not worry, you know? Um, but some people get so imprisoned by all these things, imprisoned by imprisoned by worry, imprisoned by depression, you know? And so I was thinking, what if we all lived a life of freedom? What if we all took God at his word and said, okay, if what you say is true, then I need to take these words and live that out, live my life out in freedom.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like that a lot, because that's something that we all dealt with at some time, and we still do to this day. If you look at it in the scriptures, even though Christ did tell us, don't take no thought for your life. Because at the time where people dealing with anxiety, and look how much we've been so attached to the things of this world. We've been attached to our place of employment. We've been attached to our bank accounts, and we center ourselves around that. And then
yeah,
when that stuff is taken away from us, we go off into anxiety. We go off into depression, which means we allow that stuff to consume us. But we're not walking in total freedom, not fulfilling
yeah,
our obligation, but not fulfilling our purpose, because we've been conditioned to think a certain way in this Western culture. Go to school, get a job, been a job for 30 plus years. Then
yeah,
they'll tell you you live a good life till you retire. But
yeah,
at the midst of that, you're suffering, you're depressed,
yeah,
burnt out, you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
disappointed, but
yeah,
not living that fulfilling life. And I'm looking at what it says. He said, I came that you might have life and have life more abundantly, right?
yeah,
So it's all about having that abundant life,
yeah,
not walking in lack, but walking in total freedom and not being consumed to the things of this. We're not being consumed to people, but walk in total freedom. Walk with your head held up high. Well, we've been so attached to this culture that we in, conditioned to it, in my opinion, to be able to enjoy that total freedom, that freedom of walking in peace, that freedom of joy, if that makes sense. But
yeah,
actually for live out, and these what you promise, this is what your words say, right?
yeah,
So fulfill the promise you have for my life. That's what I want to say.
yeah,
And because we all dealing with this stuff on a regular basis, but because I was like that, I'm learning to rechange my mindset. I'm learning how
mm,
to redo everything. Everything is out, not out and not internal. It's internal, not outurner. Because we
yeah,
think I go buy a brand new outfit, I go buy a brand new car. We get this outer stuff, but we
yeah,
still dealing with that poor, wretched individual inside, the one that's dealing with depression, the one that's dealing with fear, the one that's dealing with anxiety, the one that's feeling with doubt, the one that's on survival mode. And that's what I'm reading now on the supernatural, and it talks about that when people get when people lose their jobs, they go crazy, right? They get in survival mode. They go broke, they get in survival mode. And what we do is we open up all these different floodgates, or we'll have somebody may come and trigger us because we'll allow that stuff to get, and then what I'm saying, we open up all this stuff, not realize how powerful that we are, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm
mhm,
just learning to block that stuff out, get away from things that may cause me to trigger or things that may cause me to fall back into that state of being that I want to be at, if that makes sense.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
Bible says, take every thought captive. So if we are taking every thought captive, then we can't keep going on in, those stages of depression. Like we need to say, well, God, what are your answers for me? You know, you're going to say something, Larissa.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're
No,
fine. You go
no,
ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, so what I was going to say was, you know, to be, uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So sorry.
Yeah.
For some odd reason, I glitched. um, I think depression and just turmoil within oneself. I think it happens on an individual basis, and it's very hard. It is very hard. It's easy for one to say, but it's very hard for one to actually go through it and then try to overcome it, especially when it's somebody else. You know, no, I've always considered myself to be a strong person, an independent person. I've always had it together, but thank thanks to the thing called menopause, I went through a transition that was like, oh my god. And I've always heard women talk about it, but I never really knew about it. And I
mm,
never really understood how it can affect you mentally. And that's exactly what happened. And let me tell you, ooh, it felt like I was losing my mind, like 100% losing my mind. Now, the only person that I did pray to was God. I could
mhm,
not have made it without God. because
Yeah.
you know, the friends, the family, the children, the people that I hoped that would have showed up, the ex-husband, the people that I would have hoped that would have showed up did not show up, but the person that did show up was God. So, you know, I just think it depends on an individual basis, and you have to it, I hate to, I almost feel like you have to hit rock bottom to really
Mhm.
understand it, to really
Yeah.
understand it, and to really go through it, and to really analyze how it will affect your life. You know, I used to tell my kids all the time, you know, especially when they talked about money and lack thereof. I said, baby, don't worry about it. Money will always come. Money will always come. If you got some money, it will always come. And it does. It does. I can't tell you how many times in my life that money have always come whenever I needed it. Not when I asked for it, but when I needed it. Um, and it just happens. So, you know, with that being said, um, you know, I just feel that's literally how I feel about that. Um, I, that's why when I tell you when I hear Christian music, or when I hear music in particularly that comes to like just I don't what's the word I'm trying to say, that really
Impacts you.
get to my soul. It's
Yeah.
something different about it. It's something different about it. You know,
Mm.
I can be in church all day. I can hear the word all day. But it's something about it when somebody is singing it towards me. And
Mhm.
it makes me man, when I tell you, it's it's beyond something, and that's just for me. That is just for me. It's not for everybody. You know, I know people want to hear the word. I know people want to, you know, because I've been there as well. But when I hear certain music, and when I hear certain sayings, it's just something about it, man. It makes me feel like, Jesus Christ, this is what I needed. I needed this in my life. I
Mhm.
needed this right now. So, you know, with that being said, this is my question for you. How do you, what do you say to people that talk or say things like that, like for say for instance as new music, like, hey, I really wish you would like do this or do that, or what do you say about that?
You mean the style of music or?
Well, yeah, the style of music, or just, you know, just say, hey, can you talk about, you know how we're talking about depression right now,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And can you sing something on the word of the person? Can you create something on that? I mean, because I don't know about your team. Like, how is the team? Because look, I'm about to get in your business, Freedom Heart.
Mhm.
So, you know, I want to know about your team. How do they come up with the music that you sing, and how do you know that it's going to touch people? Because I feel like you can feel it. You can feel it 100%.
Yeah, I've been through depression myself. I've been through suicidal thoughts, and so those things are very prominent in my themes of my music. And that's why that is my artist name as well, because I'm using my past experiences and putting them back into the songs, and putting them back to focusing our eyes on God and not just ourselves, because we can get caught up in just in our own pain.
Yeah.
I've seen some artists that are Christian, and I even went to some of their concerts, and uh, I'm not going to name any names, but that person was saying about, oh, you might be struggling with depression, and that's totally fine, which is true. But he didn't have any answers. He just kind of left them there and kind of said, well, just go ahead and feel it and just stay there. And I really don't think that that's the answer. I think that God gave us the answer already with Jesus Christ. And if it's not to say, oh, hey, here's the Sunday school answer, and there you go, and your life is totally fine now, and you can just be okay and 100% happy. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, we are going through this life, but we have to take God's word and trust Him enough to say, okay, maybe my life doesn't look great right now, but what do you say? We have to keep on looking back at Him. Psalm 121 says, I lift my eyes up to the hills, and where does my help come from? It comes from the Lord, and we have to look to Him. If we keep looking at the world and looking at our surroundings, like, we won't ever rise up, because the enemy, we are in a spiritual battle. The enemy has us um, like tied down. He has us in so many ways of, like, that thing that he does, steal, kill, and destroy. One of those things is steal our joy, steal our peace, and steal our basically everything, and that will lead into depression.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. No, you're
Yeah,
right. You're
yeah.
absolutely right.
Well, I
What
like
were you
that.
going to say, Frank?
I said I like that what she was saying. Coming with the answer, and that's why we was on another platform. Big shout out to Talk Tasha in the UK, and that's the kind of conversation we talked about. And I mentioned I don't get caught up in emotions. When I say emotions, I've been in a setting where it's too much emotions, but after the emotions over with, you go right back to that reality. All that hooping
Mhm.
and hollering, it has its place for some people, but
Yeah,
it was not getting me nowhere. And I have me and a best friend of mine, brother of mine, we always talk. And I look back over my life at 44 years old. I turned 44 on April the 23rd. And I look back on my life. I look back on how much time I wasted in my 20s and my 30s. And I regret a lot of things
Mm.
because I allowed fear to hinder me. I allowed doubt to hinder me. I allowed depression to hinder me. And I'm just being honest because this is the show. It's kind of
yeah,
stuff that we need to talk about on the show. And I look back on all that stuff. And I remember when you just look back, it's like, damn, what would I do to start all over again? If I knew that I knew now, to be honest with you, a lot of things I would never did. I would never got married the first time because I wasn't ready for that. That was not what I should never did. And I know the signs. And I was depressed. And I got my behind kicked for that because I was depressed, I was not happy, and I was numb to the
Mm.
pain of suffering. That makes sense. I'm just being honest on here on the show. But it did not get me nowhere. It
mm,
just got me a lot of heartache and pain. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
yeah,
Oh,
But
yeah.
I would never did if I would knew that I did now. So I understand where we come from. And I understand, like we said, what the guy said, did he say it? Okay, but now we gotta have what's the answer to this situation?
mhm,
Because I can look good right now on camera. I can look right good right now on the show, but after the camera's off, right back to that state of depression, right back
yeah,
to that person that I don't want to be. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
How can we overcome that? Now I think a lot of times I need somebody to hear this today. Now this helping somebody, it's helping me, of course. But what can we do to change the narrative? And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on changing the narrative in my own life.
Hmm. That's a very good question. First and foremost, I want to shout out to Zay. She is a loyal listener. So hi Zay. She has changed her name. She said, I don't know if my message was, but hey Zay, thank you.
Hey,
And it's
Zay.
people like that when I tell you that makes this show worthwhile. It makes it worthwhile. People that continuously come in. Oh, you two changed my name and hey.
Thanks for
so
tuning in.
yes, thank you for tuning in. So I love to shout out to the people that are tuning in. So um That is what, because we couldn't do it without you guys. And that is the whole reason why we do these things, because we want to be able to give you that thought process. We want to be able to plant those seeds of thoughts within you. So thank you. Thank you for the listener. Thank you for everything. And welcome Freedom Heart. We are talking about her career and all of the above. So thank you for joining in. I know you came in a little late, so I'm just trying to catch you up a little bit. So look, I want to call you Heart or Freedom. Which one you want me to call you?
My name is Lynn. You can call me Lynn.
Okay, Lynn. So, Miss Lynn, okay, production wise, do you have a say so on what you do, on what
Yeah.
you decide to sing? How does that work? Because you know, fortunately, I have been able to understand that part due to other people that have been in my life, the whole production wise part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand how sometimes things don't always work out the way it is. And I'm so glad that things are working out for you. So tell us all about it.
I write my own songs. So what I do is I bring my music to producers that I work with, and they will take my music and say, hey, what do you want it to sound like? And I already have done a lot of work on myself and my sound of what I want to sound like. And so I would tell them, hey, I like these kind of sounds. I like this kind of vibe. And then they'll take that song and produce it the way that I'd like it. And a lot of times I'm inside the studio as well when they are creating. So I will say, oh, no, I don't like that. Mm-mm. Or I'll say, oh, I really like that. Even when down to like, oh, I don't like that cymbal sound, or I don't like that drum sound. So I get to be pretty hands-on while they're creating in the studio.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent that you are hands-on. So I assume that you have your own copyrights, that you own your own masters.
Yes.
Good. That is. I'm gonna have to give you a
Congratulations on
look,
that.
because a lot of people don't understand how important that is, to own your own masters, like to own your own music. Because when you do not own your own music, it's crazy. And Zay said, "Congratulations, by the way." So I look, that is so important. Um, I do have another question. Do you think that your music cater more to the younger generation or to all?
I think it has a young feel, but anyone can listen to it because I lead with my life and I lead with just being genuine. So I would hope that people of all ages would like to listen to it. But yes, I've been told that it sounds very young, and that's okay because a lot of my themes really speak to people at a young age as well, and people struggling with because some of the themes I talk about are about identity, and that those things are very important to me. So that's kind of where I started out in middle school, struggling with identity issues and depression issues because I didn't know who I was. And so I want to incorporate that in my music and to the ministry that I do. And so I love doing conferences with youth, and I do conferences with women as well, and just speak out about those kind of topics.
Oh, that is great. Do you have something coming up soon?
I do. You mean in regards to conferences?
Yes.
Not right now, but things I have coming up are just flying out to Nashville. I'm flying out next week for a music award show in Nashville.
Oh, that's great. Good luck. I'm very
Hmm.
glad to hear that. That is excellent. Nashville seems like the place to be.
That's where a lot of Christian music comes from.
Yes, yes, that is very, very good. I'm very, very glad to hear that. Carmen,
I
can you
Yeah,
hear
that's
me?
what's up
It
right there.
looked
And I
like
know
you
you.
froze. It looked like you froze a little bit.
All right, can you hear me? Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you, but you're
Or I'm
freezing.
lagging?
I hear you, but you're
Okay.
lagging.
Oh wow, I hate that. Man, well, I hate that I'm lagging.
It might just
But
be
show
me, though.
continue on.
It might just be me.
But like I said, hey, the show still goes on. But I wanted you
Of
mentioned something
course.
about the youth, and we had a youth panel on the show by the way about a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
and it was a space for the young people to express themselves.
mm,
And we're in a time that these young people are open to a lot of information. They're open to a lot of information. They're open to a
yeah,
lot of answers. And I'm a millennial, and I thank God for my parents. They only pass down the information that they have, but this generation they're open to a lot of things that we didn't talk about at home. But these kids are more open to it now. So how has the youth being within the church? Because I know when I was going to church and going to these youth ministries and these youth conferences, it was impactful in life, but it kind of fizzled out because now you had the new age coming in and they're open
yeah.
to a lot of stuff. So how has ministering to the youth being now with so many answers, so many questions, dealing with a lot, going through a lot of things, and still just yelling at them? And I know a lot of times when we ask a question growing up, we got yelled at, but and that caused curiosity, and that causes curiosity, right? But
Yeah.
now it's getting to the point now that okay, listen to what they have to say instead of just hooping and hollering at them when they have questions. So how has it been ministering with the youth in today's world we in right now?
I lead with just very like my authentic self. And so I would share my testimony and just kind of tell them about, you know, the mistakes that I've made and um, allow them to be themselves is very important. And if they don't know who they are, then we kind of teach them who they are in God. But um, it's very important to just kind of show them that you're kind of not coming at them like you said with like fire and brimstone, but it's just like um, just knowing that this is what you want to tell them about God's love and who they are and teach them. Like you said, right now they're just so open to all this stuff, right? In the internet. But
Mm-hmm.
they also need to be taught too. And I'm thinking that's kind of lacking right now in in how parents are teaching their kids because they probably think, okay, they're fine, they should know who they are. But even growing up, I really didn't know who I was until I became a believer. Because
Mhm.
yes, I knew that I was, my parents' child, but um, my identity was in trying to like just constantly please them and please their expectations. Like they wanted me to be a certain way, right? But like it wasn't until that I was enough being myself, enough like just being a child of God that I was like, oh wow, like that is true love because it wasn't doing something so that I could receive love. It was just being and then I could receive love. And I think that's something that the kids need to hear is that,
Yeah.
like you are loved just the way that you are, you know?
Mm.
And we're not perfect. We all sin, but the Holy Spirit will like convict you and then he will also lead you into like change if that's what he's telling you to do. Um, yeah, so many people I've met, maybe someone didn't tell them, hey, you should do this, you should do that. But then they said, oh, Holy Spirit told me. And then they changed because they wanted to. They wanted to change because they wanted to please God. And so that's kind of the approach with the kids, is just telling them genuinely that they are loved and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
cherished.
no, I think you're
I think you froze now, Larissa.
absolutely correct. That's who I am. I'm a Generation X right here. So, I was definitely raised by hardcore baby boomers. Okay. So I'm with Furman here when, hey, you do as I say, as at some point you have to break that generational curse. And I decided I needed to break that generational curse when it came to my children. So I felt like my kids' opinion were um, were so important because um, I'm only in their life for so long
Mm.
because and I mean it like this, not like I'm gonna die or something, but I mean it I mean it like this. They will become adults. They will make their own decisions.
Yeah.
They will find their own path. And I think at some point, because God, and it's so crazy how God works because man, it's crazy works. God will always find it his way to you, no matter where you are, no matter what age, no matter what path in life, you're gonna find God at some. I remember when it happened with my daughter. I remember when it happened with me. I remember when it happened with my youngest son and with my oldest son. Like each path was chosen at different times, and they decided to do different things and learn different ways. So when I feel like when I tell you that God is that spirit is spiriting, that spirit is spiriting, okay? And I just wholeheartedly I love the fact that my children are able to express it without judgment because
Mm.
they don't have any judgment for me. Um,
Yeah.
and that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I can't say that for everybody,
Yeah.
but at least for me, there is no judgment from me because I am still learning. I am not what people would say I'm saved because I'm not. Okay, I'm still learning on a daily basis. I'm still learning who I am. I'm even though I'm about to be 46, but I'm still learning who I am. I'm still learning about God. There are so many things that I am learning. Learning about friendship, learning about people who are there in your corner, learning about who really matters, learning about God and um, how much he matters above everybody else, because that's something that I did not realize. And when I realized that, that's man, whew, it's making me feel some type of way right now. It's making like for real, it's making me feel some type of way because when I went through my depression, there wasn't anybody else that got me out of it. It was God that got me out of it. I prayed, I cried, and I was like, God, I need your help. And when I tell you God showed up and showed out, he did. He did.
Wow. That's so wonderful.
He did. So when I hear artists that talk about um the things that they want to do and how they you know, like in your situation, like when I tell you that is so inspirational to me, it really is. It really is. And I pray that you continue to have success in your goals and everything and reach as many people as you are trying to. to reach, or many more. I mean, I'm pretty sure initially, who would have thought, hey, now you have 500,000 listeners now, like on YouTube. Like, that is amazing. That is amazing, because it's really hard to break out into this type of social media platforms and businesses as far as right now. So to even have that many, it is amazing. That means that you are reaching out to that many people, and that is amazing. That is amazing. So I got to give it to you, Lynn. I got to give it to you, Lynn.
Thank you.
So, can you tell us about your new single? Wait. Hold up. Can you tell us about your new single?
Love Me Differently. Yeah. It's a song about how God loves us differently than the world, which is what we're talking about.
Oh, see, you see how God, you see what it is? You see how it
happened? God is speaking to you, Larissa.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the song is really important, because in the music video, it's kind of like showing about how we're just walking through life, and then people are kind of like disappointing you. Like, you're like, hey, can we meet up? And they're like, no, I'm busy. And then it's just like, you're getting discouraged, you're getting disappointed, and you're like, but they're supposed to be my best friend, or they're supposed to be, supporting me, but they're not. And they say they love me, but they're not, and that's the world, right? Yeah. Don't you hate when people are flaky? Man, it annoys the heck out of me. They'll say, hey, we're going to meet up today, and then they don't meet up. It's like, oh, hey, sorry, I can't meet up now. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But that's not God. God shows up every time. And so Love Me Differently is about God's love, and how that
I cannot wait to hear it. Huh? I'm looking forward to it. Hey, if you need someone in the video, I'm available. I'm available.
Thank you for offering. Do you live in California?
Hey, I can go to California. It's okay. When you want something, you got to. And that's the thing. I think that's what people really have to realize. When you are reaching for a goal, you got to go all out. When God is telling you to do it, you can't have excuses.
Ain't that the truth?
You can't have excuses of, oh, well, I got this to do today. No, just do it. Just do it.
I like that. That's cool. Yeah, you're right about that. You had a flex on. You got a flex on. So that's what's up right there. Like I said, just hearing your passion, Lynn, for what you do and what you're created to do, that's a beautiful thing. Everybody wants to fulfill their dreams. Everybody, I think, we should want to fulfill their goals, right? I'm one of them. But utilizing the gifts. Everybody got a gift. The Bible lets us know that our gifts should make room for bringing forth great men. How is it important to find our gifts? I wish growing up we would have tapped more into learning our gifts, and especially starting as a child. Because when for going back to our parents, they was taught to go to school, get a job, and we had these dreams. We used to get fussed at about them, right? Well, hey, it was good seeing you.
I know. I'm finally able to get on now.
Yeah.
Awesome. But we used to get told about our dreams. We used to get our dreams tampered upon. That's how I wish that we would have got the opportunity to fulfill our dreams and have that embedded in us as children. That's what I want to say. And not just being pushed down to go to school, get a job, stay on it for 30 plus years, and you going to experience a good life after you retire, right? But living that fulfilling life is very, very important to me, because I only got one life.
You talking about me?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You talking about me?
No, I'm not. But I'm just having a conversation. But I'm not talking about you. But I'm just saying, I just reflect on a lot of stuff. Like, what if? What if this would have happened? What would it change? But I understand what God does. God does restore the years.
Yes.
He does that. So it
Mm.
didn't say a day, it didn't say a month, it said years. So God does restore years, and that's something I have to remind myself on. And I understand you know, just starting out over again from a spiritual standpoint, because we are spiritual. We were born in the flesh, but we were spiritual. So we reversing everything on the spiritual realm, but
Yeah.
getting more focused, getting
Yeah.
more purpose driven, not
Yeah.
open up them flood and not open up these floodgates of fear, doubt,
Mm.
anxiety, worry, things like that. Not entertaining certain things, cutting certain stuff off. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm getting at right now. So it's protecting you at all costs, protecting you. And I remember that it's all about protecting you. What do y'all say about that? I guess we were talking about music. We talking about depression and everything else. But I guess I need to hear this. It was all, but
I mean, I think
um,
it has something to do with all of it. Like, I mean, not just the music. I mean, not just the music. I think it's combined all together. If I'm not speaking, I don't want to speak for you, Lynn, but when I just feel like that is what it is. Life, life, music, and it speaks to you about that life.
This is something I'm very passionate about as well. Is a person's calling, and I really believe that God has given us all gifts. God has given us all callings, but it's really dependent on if you listen to Him or not. As I said earlier about my testimony, when I first heard God say that I was going to do music for Him, I will tell you, I ran away from that calling for
Mm,
15 years, a long time, because I was afraid. I thought, me, God, I can't sing as good as Whitney Houston. I can't do as well as all these other people. Why would you choose me? I was very down on myself, and I had a lot of negativity because I didn't have that positive reinforcement growing up. And so I love those stories whenever I watch like biopics or movies about, how someone came to be. I love these stories when you're shown that, hey, guess what? Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team. His coach said he sucked. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? Like,
mm,
how is it that these people came to be, and how did they go forward into their callings? Maybe it's not about what you think you are good at, but we got to go and listen to what God said, and said, if He said that, hey, you should do this, then maybe there's a reason for that. We can choose to say no and say, no, God, I don't want to. That's fine. But if we all believe that He created us in our mother's womb, then that means He put stuff in us, the desires in our hearts, the things that we are, even like little down to like, oh, I like going to the beach, or oh, I like going to see a basketball game, whatever. There's a reason for all of that. And so when I see my life now, everything that I've done, God did never wasted. It just was like another step and another step and another step to what He called me to do now.
mm.
I in
I'm
college. Okay, go ahead for me.
no, I want to ask you something. I know you said when He called you, do what you do, and you ran from it.
Yeah.
Was it a lot of um I want to say suffering, but was there a lot of emotion like setbacks? Was it like no breakthroughs, no lack of anything, like a lot of lack and a lot of not having no peace? You deal with all that? Because I know I would deal with all that stuff. Not doing what He wanted me to do, but you go through that not having no peace, not having no joy.
Oh, trust me. Yes.
Everything is not going like it's supposed to be going until you really be obedient. And when you were talking, it made me think about the promise, which Isaac was the promise, but Ishmael was born. Ishmael was not part of the promise, and I shared this before on the other show. We have a Ishmael moment, but not an Isaac promise. When I say that,
Mhm.
we can move before it. We can move out of timing and still wait on the promise. Does that make sense? That's
Yeah.
what I think you was talking. It
Mm.
made me think about that because Isaac was the promise,
Yeah.
Ishmael wasn't. And
Yes.
Abraham listened to Sarah to lay with Hagar and had Ishmael, but all he had to do was wait on the promise. And that's why I look at because whatever God promised you is gonna come to fruition. A lot of times we think it's right in our circle, is right in our midst, right then and there,
Yeah.
but it's the weeding out, it's the preparation, it's the moving around. Because a lot of things that was told in my life, I was thinking it was gonna be right at that moment, but it wasn't at that
Mhm.
moment. It was
Mhm.
on the other side of what
Yeah.
I'm getting at, and it's be on that other side of what is going on. And I'm learning that now. It's like I want the promise. I don't want the moment. I don't want the feeling. I want the promise. And what he
That's
promised
exactly.
me
Mhm.
go, that would come to fruition. Just like when I mentioned earlier. And I remember somebody told me this, and I'm gonna write that to that moment. I remember I was at work, not where I work at, but when I was back at home in Mobile, Alabama. And of course, you know, I work in law enforcement. And that's why I met Larissa at because she was in the sheriff department for 25 plus years. And that's why I met her in Dallas. And when I was this guy didn't know me from Adam. This at the time I was married at the time, and I had my wedding band on. And this guy didn't know me. He said, "You know, you weren't supposed to got married, right? You got married out of timing. You weren't supposed to got married yet." And this guy didn't know my situation at all. But it was on point because I didn't know it. And that was just God just speaking because I did. I got that and I suffered behind that
Yeah.
tremendously. But it just showed me out of timing. And I moved out of time. Rushing, you listen to people. Oh, you ought to get this. It's like somebody told me today. When you gonna
Hmm.
have kids? You getting older now. You 44. It's time for you to have some kids. You get with somebody younger, have a family. But I'm not gonna listen to that because
Like, is
one,
that God's calling for you?
as that because if you look at it, God is eternal. He don't look at time. We look at time because we in
Yeah.
these fleshly bodies. But I'm
Yeah.
looking how people look at age and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. But I'm just learning it's not about me. It's not about what I think in my carnality, but it's all
Yeah.
about what God says and what He sees fit. If that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Totally.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
It is so important because if we, it's kind of like the Israelites, right? When they were like going around 40 years in the wilderness, even though God had a promise for them, right? They kind of was like, okay, why do you think God had those people, the Israelites, going around for 40 years? You know why? It's because they were disobedient. And God said, I don't want these people to go to the promised land because they are not listening to me. He still provided for them, though. He
Mm,
still provided them food, cloud by day, pillar by night, every day, right? But he didn't like their attitude. They kept saying, are we here? Why are we not in, the promised land? Oh, you know what? It's better back in Egypt. It was so much better when we were slaves.
Hmm.
You know, he didn't like their attitude. So he said, okay, well, I'm going to wait for 40 years and then they're going to die off and then the next generation can come, you
Yeah.
know? And th- so when I heard that story, I thought, I don't want that, God. Yes, I ran away from the calling for a while, but afterward I learned and I said, I don't want to just go around this earth and not fulfill my calling. Like, I want
Is
to
that?
see the promised land. I want to see what you have for me, God.
Yeah.
Because what you have for me is so much better. It's so much better than what I
Mm.
can do for myself, you know? So
Yeah.
now that I've done that, I'm seeing every single day things, amazing things happen. Just yesterday, this girl, she it was her first time coming to our church. She accepted Christ for the very first time, and just to bring someone to Christ or do ministry or encourage someone, like that gives me joy. That gives me fulfillment. I mean, yes, I'm. It fulfills me when people say, "Oh, I love your song. I love your videos," and it encourages me. That's so great for me as well. But that's why I said everything for me is ministry because that is what fulfills me.
Mm, mm. That's beautiful because it always made me think of, especially the story you just told. It only takes a few moments of emotions to ruin everything that you have worked for or everything that could be worked for. Just a few
Yeah,
moments of emotions
yeah,
to and it made me think about what you were talking about, that our young guest did not receive Furman when we talked about emotions. I remember hearing this inmate. He was saying, 2 moments, 2 minutes of emotions literally took 20 plus years of my life. 20
yeah,
That's
plus
true.
years of my life.
That's true.
yeah,
So,
That's true.
yeah. So when I think about, these people who weren't satisfied with just a moment, a dissatisfaction, or a moment of hardship, even though they've been through hardship all their lives. They've been through hardship all their lives.
yeah,
And to be like, okay, here we go. We're going to wait till the next generation. We're going to wait till the next generation because you guys are ungrateful. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, golly, that is just, it's, ooh, I don't know. It just kind of just, not everybody. Don't get me wrong, not everybody. But it makes me about it deeper, deeper. And I had never been the type of person, I'm personally, I don't have a particular religion. I can't say that I am Christian. I can't say that I'm Baptist. I can't, those are things that I can't say. But the one thing I will always forever say is I believe in God, and God has always been there for me. It's particularly things that when I say I have, man, I could have been taken out of this world at least 4 times.
yeah,
And God has come through every single time, like literally. And I'm not even playing, not joking, not exaggerating, like almost like brink of death. And I'm still here. I'm still here. And that has nothing to do with humans. That has everything to do with God. Everything to do with God.
Mm.
So that's why I believe in past. I believe in people meeting each other. I believe that me coming to Furman's life and Furman coming into my life is a blessing. Me meeting you, Lynn, that is a blessing. It was meant to happen. It was meant to happen because I was meant to hear your words, hear what you had to say.
amen.
Yes. So yeah, I love it. I love it. This this excites me. I just love it. It excites me.
Man, it is. It really is. And we do appreciate you, Lynn. I know we at that time frame now. It is at our 6 o'clock mark. And I know Larissa is big on time and she wants to end on time. And I respect that. Good time is everything.
Well, it's
We don't want
not
to hold you
that
up. So,
because we respect everybody's time, and our time is an hour, and so and we want to say thank you, but like Furman was saying, so it's not that I'm big on time. I just want to respect everybody's time, and we the thing is this here, when it comes to young people are their mindset, I'm sorry, but it's just what it is. They're not sitting here listening for a whole hour or 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? You have to give them um just enough time. And I've over the course of us doing this, our young listeners, this is what I'm hearing. So, and I appreciate all the feedback because that's what we need. That's what we need, all the feedback. So that is why that time is good. But go ahead, Furman. I'm gonna let you lead the way.
all right, all right, like I said, we at that time, Lynn, before we're gonna let you go, do you have any words of advice, any sign of wisdom you want to leave with the listening audience? Also, how can they listen to your music? Go ahead.
Yeah, please connect with me on Instagram. I have two accounts. One's Freedom Heart LC, one is Freedom Heart Band. But that's where you can get connected with me, and that's how you see what kind of events I have going on. I also obviously have my YouTube channel. Please listen and subscribe there. But I'm on all the channels as well, but those are the main ones that kind of want to focus on. But if my music has encouraged you, or even this podcast has encouraged you, please reach out and just message me and say, hey, and just let me know what you thought. And it's always encouraging for us songwriters to hear how our song has touched people's lives. And yeah, it makes us keep on wanting to, do more. And I have so much music coming out soon and a lot of projects coming up. So,
Good,
keep,
good.
keep on, keep on following and keep caught up.
Man, awesome,
Wonderful,
awesome.
wonderful. Well,
Let
congratulations. I wish you all the best in Nashville. Look here, wish you all the best in Nashville. Thank you once again for coming on the show. Please remember to tune in every Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Once again, thank you, Lynn, for showing up. And we can follow you on Instagram, Freedom Heart, correct?
Freedom Heart LC.
Freedom Heart LC. So for those who do not know, Freedom Heart LC. Okay. Thank you for the listeners. Thank you for your time because your time is precious. And look, we could not do this here without you guys. Okay. Just words of wisdom. Follow your dreams. Just
Yes,
like
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, see, you see what I'm talking about? See, you
We're
see what I'm
on
talking about?
the same wavelength.
Yes, we are. See, you see how God does? You see what
Yeah.
God does? Yes. Follow your heart and your dreams. And don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Because when you give up, you are giving the devil a chance to come in and put doubt in your mind. Okay. And that is not what you need to do. Okay. You have so much potential out there, young ladies and gentlemen, older ladies and gentlemen. Don't think just because you're an older person doesn't mean that you can't do things. Okay, I'm about to be 46 years old. Look, and this is my first podcast with my buddy Furman. Okay, so you know what? I'm here. I'm here and I'm doing it. And I feel so good about it. And I love it. I love
Awesome.
what we do. So that is my words of wisdom today.
Man, awesome stuff. I appreciate you as well. Lyrics as well. It's always a pleasure, honor to collab with you on this platform with Gateway 882 and everything else. It's always a blessing. I don't take for granted at all. And Freedom, Lynn, we do thank you again for coming on here as well. We thank everybody for supporting us, by the way. We thank everybody for coming on the platforms. We thank everybody for from the UK. Build a fan base in the United Kingdom. Big shout out to Talk Tasha. I know she be coming on this platform at the end of the month out of the UK. Big connection in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. Big shout out to the fan base over there as well, with Mr. Davis. So everything is really coming
Oh
together. Thank you, Miss
yes.
Jones in Fort Worth, Texas. Like I said, we're looking for no sponsorship, endorsements. We're looking for all that stuff. So if you want to become a sponsor, what the word is, sponsor, donor,
Sponsorship,
whatever.
reach out to our email address.
Most definitely, because we want to put out
It's
content, and then make
just
sense.
saying podcast at outlook.com.
That's it.
So reach us there.
Awesome stuff.
That is
So I
it
think
right there.
that's it. That sums it up. We're about to get ready to depart, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday night. I feel good. So man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all
Yes,
Wednesday.
I do. I feel so good, Lynn. And look, I don't know what it is, but ma'am, let me tell you something. Your spirit is shining. Your spirit is shining because it got me. I don't know why, but I feel so good right
You feel the freedom.
Yes.
Hey, that's awesome.
I feel so good right now. I can't even describe it. It almost brings me to tears. Like seriously, it really does. So thank you once again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Yeah.
this is y'all.
Thank you again.
And we can just dance the night away.